कैसे
बोल रहे
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. I think if possible, we can start.
Okay, sir, no
Yeah,
problem.
if there are more students who join, we'll add them. I think most
Okay,
of them
sir.
are running late, I believe.
Okay, sir, I'll start.
Sure. Good evening, students, and ma'am, all yours. The session is
Yeah,
yours. Thanks.
okay, yeah. Um, Good evening, students. This is Dara, and I teach organic chemistry. Now, since this is the first time you're going to listen to me and you're going to attend my lecture, so today I have decided to, take a topic which is very simple, and you will be aware of that topic because you already have learned about these topics in your 11th standard, and some part of it was in 12th standard as well. But this continues even in your pharmacy as well. So we are going to start with that now. Um, in general, this topic is applicable for all kinds of organic compounds. Okay, now the topic which I have decided to do today is the electrophilic aromatic substitution. Okay, we are not exactly going to do the reactions, but I'm just going to explain you the concept that how electrophilic substitutions occur in aromatic compounds. And first of all, we must know that why in aromatic compounds, that is benzene and derivatives of benzene, what is the reason that these compounds undergo electrophilic substitution? So first point is you should understand what is the reason for these compounds undergoing electrophilic substitution. Second thing which you should understand is that what is the difference between a benzene undergoing electrophilic substitution and its derivatives undergoing electrophilic substitution. These are the two most important things. And whenever we talk about aromatic compounds, of course, the most important part that comes into picture is resonance, because aromatic compounds basic characteristic is that they undergo resonance. So if you want to explain anything with respect to aromatic compounds, you have to take into consideration the phenomena, the concept of resonance. Okay, so everything will be explained only on basis of that. Okay, so now we will start. Suppose we take benzene. Now, benzene is a cyclic system, as you all know, and it has alternate double and single bonds. Okay, and there is a condition why it is called as aromatic, because it follows one rule, and that rule is called as Huckel's rule. Now, what is Huckel's rule? First of all, you can't apply Huckel's rule to any given compound. There are certain conditions before applying this. First condition is that your molecule or compound should be cyclic. Second is it should be planar. Now, what do you mean by planar? The meaning of planar is that all the atoms in that molecule or compound have to be sp2 hybridized. That is the planarity condition. So this molecule is cyclic. It is a six-membered cycle. It is planar, and in order to identify the sp2 hybridization, you just have to remember that if there are double bonds, then the hybridization is sp2. Now there are 6 carbon atoms here, and each carbon is having a double bond. For example, these 2 carbons, they are sharing this double bond. Now there is a double bond between here, there is a single bond, but both the carbons have double bond here as well. So same is with all the 6 carbons. That means the hybridization of each carbon is sp2. That means the molecule is planar. The third criteria is that there should be a conjugation in molecule. Now, what do you mean by conjugation? Conjugation is there have to be alternate double and single bonds present in a molecule. Therefore, this molecule is again conjugated. If any molecule fulfills these criteria, you are going to apply Huckel's rule. Now, what is Huckel's rule basically? If cyclic, planar, and conjugated system has 4n plus 2 pi electrons, or it has 4n plus 2 p electrons, then that is said to be aromatic. Okay. Now, pi electron or p electron is because pi bonds are formed by lateral overlap of p orbitals. So instead of pi, we can write p electrons as well. But in order to apply Huckel's rule, these 3 criteria are important. If compound fails to fulfill any of these criteria, you cannot apply Huckel's rule. Okay. So first you have to check for these. Benzene fulfills all these criteria. So now I'm going to apply the rule. 4n plus 2 is equal to, now there are 3 pi bonds in here, therefore there are 6 pi electrons because one bond is equivalent to 2 electrons, okay? So there are going to be 6 pi electrons, so it will be 4n is equal to 4, therefore n is equal to 1. Now n is simply an integer and answer for n should be a whole number. So here the answer for n is 1, which is a whole number. That means benzene is aromatic in nature. Okay, so this is how you can find aromaticity. This is how you can find whether the given compound is aromatic or not. If it fails to fulfill any of these criteria, you can straight away call it as non-aromatic compound. Now, aromatic compounds, they undergo electrophilic substitution reactions. This is one of the most important criteria for them. They undergo electrophilic substitution reaction. Now, first of all, why do they undergo electrophilic reaction? Now, if you look at benzene ring has pi electrons, and any compound or molecule, if it has pi electrons, it is considered as electron rich compound. That means benzene is electron rich, and the compounds which are electron rich are nucleophilic. So benzene is a nucleophilic compound. Now, if benzene is nucleophilic, what is it going to do? Of course, it is going to react with an electrophile. So that is why aromatic compounds or benzene will prefer to undergo electrophilic reactions because its nature is nucleophilic because of the presence of pi bonds. Okay. Now, why substitution? See, there are mainly two types of reactions. You have addition and you have substitution. Generally, what you have learned is that alkenes and alkynes, they have double and triple bonds respectively. They undergo addition reactions. So we have double bonds over here as well. So why these compounds prefer substitution over addition? What is the reason for that? You should know it. Now suppose I want to add something here. If I carry out hydrogenation of benzene, what will happen? Now benzene will undergo hydrogenation. Yes. Hydrogenation takes place in presence of a catalyst, that is ranitidine. So what will happen now? Why I have taken 3 hydrogen molecules? Because I have 3 double bonds, and hydrogen will get added across double bonds and you get a compound like this. You get cyclohexane. Okay. Now, cyclic systems are stable, but cyclic aromatic systems are more stable. So if you compare alicyclic and aromatic compounds have extra stability always because they can participate in resonance. And you all know that resonance is very, very important factor to determine the stability of a compound. So benzene can undergo resonance because of the presence of pi bonds over here. But when it is converted to cyclohexane, all the pi bonds have gotten converted to sigma bonds. So double bonds have been converted to single bonds. There will be no resonance in this molecule. Therefore, the stability of this molecule will get reduced. So whenever you are carrying out addition reactions in aromatic compounds, you will get products definitely, but those products will be less stable than the original one. And whenever we carry out any reaction, we always do it for the sake of getting more stable product, not the less stable one. Whereas in substitution, what will happen? In substitution, what we are going to do, there are hydrogens present everywhere in benzene ring, okay? And when you carry out substitution, what will happen? Hydrogen, either one or more, depending on the reaction that you are carrying out, hydrogen will get replaced or will get substituted by some group depending on the reaction that you are carrying out. If you are carrying out halogenation, hydrogen will get replaced by halogen. If you are carrying out nitration, hydrogen will get replaced by nitro group, and so on. So what is happening in this case? Suppose I carry out halogenation of benzene. I'm adding halogen. So what am I going to get? I'm going to get halobenzene. Now, in the process, what is happening? One of the hydrogen got substituted or replaced by halogen, but the aromaticity of molecule is intact. It is not lost. So when you are carrying out substitution reactions in aromatic compounds, what happens? Their aromaticity remains intact. That means these compounds remain stable. Whereas in addition reactions, the aromaticity of the compounds is lost, and that is why they become less stable. So that is why benzene prefers substitution over addition. That doesn't mean that benzene will not undergo addition. It will undergo addition, but the addition reactions of benzene are very limited and substitution reactions are many. Given a choice, benzene will always prefer to undergo substitution reaction over addition reaction. Okay, so this is the first point, that aromatic compounds will undergo electrophilic substitution reactions. What was the reason for that? Because of the presence of pi bonds, benzene is electron rich. That means benzene is nucleophilic in nature. Now, benzene being a nucleophile, it will prefer to react with an electrophile. That is why it undergoes electrophilic reaction. And why electrophilic substitution? Because if you carry out addition reactions in benzene, it is going to lose its aromaticity, because addition will take place across a double bonds, and double bonds will be lost in the process, thereby resulting in the decreasing stability. But if you carry out substitution, the double bonds remain intact. That is, the stability of these compounds will remain intact. Only the hydrogen will get replaced by some group depending on the reaction that you are carrying out. So benzene and its derivatives, given a choice, they will always prefer substitution over addition. So this is the first point, that aromatic compounds undergo electrophilic substitution reactions. Is this understood, everyone? Did you all understand this fine, this part? Uh, if you have, okay, if you have any doubt, then please ask, or else we can proceed further. I hope you all have understood the first part, that why aromatic compounds prefer to undergo electrophilic substitution.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, let us talk about that, how benzene and benzene derivatives will react in a particular reaction. Okay. Now, suppose I take benzene and I carry out halogenation. The same example which I explained just now. I'm going to get something like this. One of the hydrogen will get replaced by a halogen, and I'll get halobenzene. Okay. Now, I have replaced this hydrogen. This hydrogen is replaced by halogen. Same way, I can also replace this hydrogen. I can also replace this hydrogen. Everything will be called as halobenzene only. Okay, means when you have a plain benzene ring, what is the meaning of plain benzene ring? When it is not substituted, जब उसके ऊपर सब hydrogens, only hydrogens are present and nothing else, you can carry out the reaction at any position. किसी भी position पे आप react कर सकते हैं, because all the positions are equivalent. So carrying out any reaction on plain benzene is quite easy. But what if benzene is already substituted, or benzene is monosubstituted? Suppose I take a compound like this. I have benzene and there is some group present on benzene. Now ये वाला जो group है वो कोई भी हो सकता है, but it is not hydrogen. Okay. Now, if you want to carry out any reaction on mono-substituted benzene, then you can't carry out the reaction as per your wish. okay? Because now these positions are not equivalent. Earlier they were equivalent because everywhere there was hydrogen, but now there is one group present already. Therefore, with respect to this group, benzene is divided into three positions. Now, this position is called as ortho. This is also ortho. See, the adjacent positions, adjacent to the group, are called as ortho. This position is called as meta, the positions which are alternate to the group. And the opposite position is called as para. Okay. So when there is a group present on benzene ring, with respect to that group, there are three positions: ortho, meta, and para. Earlier also there were ortho, meta, and para positions, but that wasn't making any difference because at all the positions there were hydrogens. But whenever there is a group, these positions will make a lot of difference. Now, suppose if you want to carry out some reaction on mono-substituted benzene, then this group will decide where the reaction will take place. Me and you cannot decide. This group is going to decide where or at what position the reaction is going to take place. Let us talk about these groups in detail now. The groups present on benzene ring can be of two types. They can either be activating groups or they can be deactivating groups. Now, what are activating groups? Activating groups are electron donating groups, and deactivating groups are electron withdrawing groups. Okay, so the two types of groups that can be present on benzene ring are activating and deactivating. Activating groups are electron donating groups, and deactivating groups are electron withdrawing groups. Now, how do we identify? See, the one thing is that you can remember what all are these groups, but it is very difficult to keep in mind all the groups because we have so many functional groups. So what you can do is there is a trick to identify that thing. Suppose I have two molecules or two compounds. I write NH2 over here. This is aniline. And suppose I write this compound. This is nitrobenzene. Okay. Benzene is common in both. You just have to find out that out of NH2 and NO2, that is amine and nitro, which one is activating, which one is deactivating. In order to identify that, you have to check the atom that is directly attached to benzene. You have to check the atom that is directly attached to benzene ring. I said atom, not group. Okay, so when I consider aniline, nitrogen is the atom which is directly attached to ring. And when I consider nitrobenzene, again, nitrogen is the atom which is directly attached to ring. Okay, so you have to just look at the atom that is directly attached to benzene. If that atom has lone pair, if the atom directly attached to benzene has lone pair, then that entire group becomes activating. And if it doesn't have any lone pair, then it becomes deactivating. So here, in case of aniline, nitrogen has lone pair. That means NH2 is activating group. And here in case of nitrobenzene, nitrogen is attached to benzene, but this nitrogen doesn't have any lone pair. That means this is deactivating. So that is the first thing you have to identify before carrying out any reaction, that the nature of group is activating or deactivating. Now, what exactly do you mean by activating and deactivating? Now see, benzene ring has pi bonds. Because of the pi bonds, benzene ring is already electron rich, and that is the reason it undergoes electrophilic reactions. Now, there is a lone pair present on nitrogen. Lone pair का मतलब क्या होता है? Meaning of lone pair is free electrons. Free electrons means they can be donated to a suitable species. Now, if you see, this lone pair is in direct resonance with benzene. So this lone pair participates in resonance like this. So what is happening over here is that the lone pair on nitrogen is going into the ring. Ring already has pi electrons, because of which ring is electron rich, but nitrogen also is donating its electrons to benzene. Thereby, it is making benzene even more rich. That means electrophilic substitution will become very easy in case of this compound. So by donating its lone pair, nitrogen is increasing the electron density of ring. That means it is activating ring for the electrophilic substitution. So that is the meaning of activating group. Whereas if you look at this compound, nitrogen is surrounded by 4 bonds. That means it has a positive charge over here. What is the meaning of positive charge? This is electron deficient. It is seeking electrons. So what is it going to do? It is going to pull the electrons from the ring. Now, if nitro group is going to pull the electrons from ring will become electron deficient. Now, if ring becomes electron deficient, it will be very difficult for it to attract an electrophile, because electrophile also is electron deficient. Okay, so in case of groups like nitro, they pull the ring electrons towards themselves, thereby decreasing the electron density of benzene. That means they are deactivating the ring towards electrophilic substitution. Okay, so that is the concept of activating and deactivating. What are activating groups? Activating groups are electron donating groups. They donate their electrons, that is lone pair of electrons, to benzene ring, thereby increasing the electron density of ring and making it more susceptible to electrophilic substitution. Whereas what are deactivating groups? Deactivating groups themselves are deficient, that is, they are seeking electrons, and in order to get stabilized, they are going to pull the electrons from benzene towards themselves, thereby decreasing the electron density of benzene and making it less susceptible to electrophilic substitution. And what is the trick to identify? You have to check the atom directly attached to benzene. If the atom directly attached to benzene has lone pair, then it will be activating group. It can have one lone pair or it can have more than one lone pair. And in case of deactivating, there will be no lone pairs on the atom that is directly attached to benzene ring. Is this part clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, how do these groups, like activating and deactivating, are going to affect the reactivity, or how are they going to react? Now, see, there are two types of resonance effects. Okay, one is called as plus R or plus M. Resonance is also called as mesomerism. So plus M is for mesomerism. Okay, so activating groups, they show plus R or plus M effect, and deactivating groups show minus R or minus M effect. Okay, now first of all, you have to identify the group, and then you have to write down the resonance. Okay, So we can take the same example only, aniline only we can take, okay? And you have to remember one thing, that activating groups, they are ortho-para directing, and deactivating groups are meta directing. I'll explain you the meaning of this right after writing the resonance, okay? Now, I want to find out that, suppose I want to carry out halogenation in case of aniline, and I want to find out at which position the reaction will take place. So first of all, NH2 is activating. That means it is ortho-para directing. What is the meaning of ortho-para directing? That if you want to carry out any reaction in aniline, it will take place at ortho and para position. So you are going to have two products. In one product, halogen will go to ortho position. In other product, the halogen will go to para position. Okay. Now, what is the reason for that? Why am I saying that? We can find that out simply by writing the resonating structure. So whenever you have a lone pair, you always have to start writing the resonance from lone pair, okay? So this electrons are going to get shifted over here, and this bond is going to get shifted onto this carbon, okay? So the first structure that you get will look like this. I have not done anything to these bonds, so they are going to remain as it is. These electrons are getting shifted onto this carbon, so this will bear a negative charge. This lone pair is getting shifted over here, so this becomes double bond NH2. Now, earlier nitrogen had a lone pair. Now, this lone pair have participated in bond formation, so nitrogen no longer has its lone pair, so this is going to bear a positive charge. Now, for the next resonance, you have to delocalize the negative charge. So this negative charge will come over here, and this bond is going to come over here. So what will you get? You will get a ring. Now this negative charge is forming a bond here. This bond is forming a negative charge here, and this bond will remain intact, and you get double bond NH2 plus. Okay. In the next resonating structure, what will happen? This negative charge will go here, and this bond is going to come here. So what you get double bond NH2 with a positive charge. There is a bond. This negative charge is forming a bond here, and this bond is forming a negative charge over here. And the final resonating structure will look like this. You have NH2 and nitrogen regains its lone pair. Now see, what is happening here? You have to go on writing resonance till you get the original structure back. The first and the last structure. Vishakha, please mute your mic. Vishakha. Vishakha, yeah, thank you. Now see, if you can see the first and the last structure, they are similar. Only the bonds have been rearranged, okay? Now listen to this point very carefully. Why did we write the resonating structures? In aromatic compounds, resonating structures are written in order to find out the site of reaction. These undergo electrophilic substitution reactions. Electrophile is an electron deficient species. So it will prefer to attack at the position which is electron rich. Okay. Now, if you look at these resonance structures carefully, in this structure, negative charge is coming at this position, and this position is ortho. Now, when there is a negative charge on any position, that means that position is electron rich. So here ortho position is bearing the negative charge. Here the negative charge is present on para position, and again there is a negative charge on ortho position. So in case of aniline, what happens is the negative charge appears at ortho and para positions. What does it indicate? It indicates that ortho and para positions are electron rich, and that is why electrophile will prefer to attack ortho and para position. That is why the NH2, first of all, it is activating. Why it is activating, I have already explained, because nitrogen has lone pair. and it is ortho-para directing. Why it is ortho-para directing? Because ortho and para positions are electron rich. So aniline is going to direct, the NH2 group is going to direct the incoming electrophile towards ortho and para position. That is why this is ortho-para directing. And this effect is called as plus R or plus M effect, okay? Because it is an electron donating effect. So it is plus R or plus M effect. And if you see that in plus R and plus M effect, ring bears a negative charge. So it is reverse. You have to remember, if it is plus R or plus M effect, ring bears negative charge. Ring will bear negative charge because there is a negative charge here, here, and here. There is a positive charge on nitrogen, but nitrogen is not the part of a ring. It is present outside the ring, okay? So in plus R and plus effect, plus M effect, what happens is ring bears a negative charge. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे क्या पता चला आपको that there was NH2 present on the ring, and NH2 की वजह से there is a restriction that in aniline you cannot carry out reaction at any position. The reaction will only take place at ortho and para position. You can't carry out the reaction at meta position, and that is not the case with plain benzene. Plain benzene में ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. आप reaction कहीं पे भी कर सकते हैं because all the positions are equivalent in case of plain benzene. Okay. Now let us take the example of nitrobenzene, and we will find out that in nitrobenzene what will happen. So this is the structure of nitrobenzene. The atom directly attached to benzene ring is nitrogen. Nitrogen doesn't have any lone pair. In fact, it has a positive charge. That means this is deactivating group. Deactivating group means what will happen, since this itself is electron deficient, it is going to pull electrons from ring in order to get stabilized, okay? So the resonance structure will start like this. This nitrogen is pulling the electrons from benzene, and this bond will be shifted over here. Now, why we are shifting this pi bond on oxygen? Valency of nitrogen is 3, okay? So nitrogen can form 3 bonds, and there is a lone pair on nitrogen. So with the help of that one lone pair, it can form one extra bond, as we have seen here that there was a lone pair, and with the help of which nitrogen formed a 4th bond, okay? So maximum nitrogen can form 4 bonds, not beyond that. So if you are shifting this, and if you do not shift this, nitrogen will have 5 bonds around it, which is not possible at all. That is why this pi bond gets delocalized on oxygen. Moreover, oxygen is electronegative, so it will have a tendency to pull this pi electrons towards itself, okay? Now, what will happen after this shifting is, you will have a ring. We have not done anything to these 2 bonds, so they will remain intact. This bond is going away from the ring. That means there will be a positive charge over here. Electrons are going away from the ring. So this position will become deficient. I have shifted this bond over here. So this becomes double bond N. This O minus remains as it is. This double bond O becomes single bond O minus. That is the first structure. Now for the next structure, what you have to do, you have to delocalize the bond which is nearest to positive charge. So this bond is nearest to positive charge, so this is going to shift here, and next structure you get will be like this. There will be a bond here, bond here. Now this is going away, so this position becomes deficient, double bond N, O minus, O minus. Now this bond is nearest to this positive charge, so the next resonating structure will look like this. There is a bond over here. This bond will come here. This position becomes deficient now, so positive, double bond N, O minus, O minus. Finally, this double bond is closest to this positive charge, so this will get shifted over here, and this comes back again. So you get the same structure back with the rearrangement of bonds. This becomes N, double bond O, O minus. Now, If you look at these structures carefully, there is a positive charge on ortho position, on para position, and on ortho position again. That means in case of deactivating groups, ortho and para positions bear positive charge. That means they are electron deficient positions. Therefore, electrophile cannot attack on ortho and para position. Okay, because ortho and para positions are electron deficient. Electrophile also is electron deficient. So the only position that is left is meta. So these groups, deactivating groups like nitro, first of all, it is deactivating because it is pulling electrons from the ring. So it is deactivating and meta directing. Why meta directing? Because it is clear from the resonating structures that ortho and para positions are having a positive charge. That means these two positions are electron deficient. So the only position left for an electrophile to attack is meta position. So nitro group is going to direct the incoming electrophile towards meta position. So in case of deactivating groups, what will happen? In case of deactivating groups, the electrophilic substitution will take place at meta position. Now, if you look at these structures, this is a minus R or minus M effect. Now, since it is minus R or minus M effect, you can see that ring is having a positive charge. So in minus R or minus M effect, ring bears positive charge. And in plus R and plus M, what it was, ring bears a negative charge. So it is totally reverse of it. Did you all understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, there are two exceptions which you have to remember. Now see, what we have said that I'll write them again. Activating groups, they are electron donating and they are ortho para directing. Okay. And deactivating groups are electron withdrawing and they are meta directing. This is what we have learned just now. Now we have to talk about the exception, and I hope you remember how to identify activating and deactivating group. What did I say? You have to check the atom that is directly attached to benzene. If it has lone pair, then it is activating. If it doesn't have any lone pair, then it is deactivating. We are just going to check on the exception of these two, one exception each. So suppose I consider a halobenzene, okay? I consider this compound, I have a halogen. It can be any halogen, so I'm just writing X. And you all know that halogens bear 3 lone pairs, okay? They have 3 lone pairs. Now, according to what we have studied just now, the atom directly attached to benzene is a halogen. Halogen has a lone pair, so it should be activating. But halogens are deactivating. Okay, now why they are deactivating? First, let us write the resonating structures. They are going to be same as aniline. You have to start like this. Okay, so the first resonating structure that I get will be double bond X. 2 lone pairs will remain intact because I have shifted only one, and there will be a positive charge. There will be negative and these 2 bonds. The negative charge comes here and this bond gets shifted over here. So the next structure that you get will be this. There will be a bond, negative charge. This will get shifted over here and this comes here. So the double bond X, then here, here, and here. And finally, you get the original structure back. Okay. So the first and last structure are same, only with the rearrangement of bond. So here also negative charge is coming at ortho and para position. So of course halogens are ortho para directing, but they are deactivating. Now why am I calling them deactivating? Now see, you all know that halogens are electronegative elements, okay? Halogens are electronegative elements. Now, electronegative elements have the tendency to pull electrons towards themselves. They never donate their electrons, okay? They always have a tendency to pull electrons. So now in case of halogens, what is happening? We have written resonance structures, okay? So because of the presence of lone pair, they are involved in resonance, okay? But there is one more effect which is operating in case of halogens. And yeah, sure, I will. Yeah. Now see, what happens in case of halogens is that along with resonance, we have written resonating structure. So of course there is resonance effect that is operating here. And along with resonance, there is one more effect that operates in halogen, that is inductive effect, okay? Now out of the two effects, inductive effect is very, very strong. It is stronger in case of halogens. Now what is this inductive effect? From resonance, you can see that halogens are donating their electrons to ring. But through inductive effect, they are simultaneously pulling the electrons from ring, which we cannot show here. So suppose if they are donating 2 electrons to ring, simultaneously they are pulling 4 electrons from ring. Thereby they are decreasing the electron density. So because of their electronegative nature, what they are doing is they are donating the electrons to ring, but simultaneously double the number of electrons, or more than double the number of electrons they are pulling from ring due to the stronger inductive effect. So because of the inductive effect, they are deactivating, and because of the resonance taking place in them, they are ortho-para directing. Otherwise, what is there? All the activating groups are ortho-para directing, all the deactivating groups are meta-directing. But in case of halogens, in spite of being deactivating, they are ortho-para directing. So what is the reason of them being deactivating? The inductive effect. What is the reason of them being ortho-para directing? The resonance effect, okay? So there are two effects that are operating simultaneously. And in earlier examples, which we saw just now, the aniline and nitrobenzene, there was only one effect that was operating. Wahan kaun sa effect tha? Only resonance was operating. But here, along with resonance, there is an inductive effect operating, which we cannot show because we are talking about resonance. But inductive effect is much more stronger in case of halogens when compared to resonance. That is why they are deactivating but ortho-para directing. Is that clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, let us take the final exception, then we will be done with this. Suppose I have toluene over here. Okay. I have toluene. So benzene ring has a CH3, that is I have toluene over here. Now in this molecule, you can see the atom that is directly attached to benzene is what? Carbon, okay? Carbon atom is directly attached to benzene ring, and carbon doesn't have any lone pair, okay? It doesn't have any lone pair. That means ideally it should be deactivated. But here also what happens? Alkyl groups have, along with resonance, they have hyperconjugation effect as well, okay? And they have plus psi effect, that is positive inductive effect. Alkyl groups are electron donating in nature. So here, if you want to write resonance, you have to start with hyperconjugation. In hyperconjugation, what happens? Hyperconjugation is no bond resonance. And in hyperconjugation, what happens? You have to delocalize the sigma bond between carbon and hydrogen. So I have a carbon and hydrogen, and there are 3 sigma bonds. You can delocalize any of the 3. So resonance will take place like this. Okay. So now if you see, these sigma electrons are being donated to the ring. That is why this is activating group. Okay. So the resonance structures will be same as aniline. There will be a negative charge, there will be 2 bonds over here, there will be double bond, carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen, and this hydrogen bears a positive charge. You will see that this bond is disappearing for time being. That is why hyperconjugation is also called as no bond resonance. Now remember one thing, that resonance and hyperconjugation are totally imaginary concepts. But in order to explain the stability of organic molecules, you have to consider these factors. You have to take into account these effects, because without them, the stability of organic molecules cannot be explained. Okay. Now, if you write the resonating structures, it will be written like aniline only. So you get the next structure like this. There will be a bond, negative charge, double bond C, H, H, and there will be hydrogen with a positive charge. In the next structure, what you get structure like this. And finally, you get the original structure back. Now, if you look at these structures, what is happening here? The negative charge is coming at ortho and para position. Okay, so alkyl groups are also ortho para directing. Okay, alkyl groups are ortho para directing. Why they are ortho para directing? Because before the resonance starts, hyperconjugation is also taking place. There is no lone pair on carbon atom, but that doesn't mean that they are deactivating, because nature of alkyl groups is electron donating, because they show plus I effect. Halogens show minus I effect. Okay, so because of the positive inductive effect, alkyl groups are electron donating in nature. Thereby, they activate the benzene ring towards electrophilic substitution. So if you have any alkyl group on benzene, that is also activating an orthopara directing. Okay. So for halogens, what you have to remember, there is a reverse thing that is happening. Halogens are deactivating but orthopara directing because of the presence of inductive effect, which is much more stronger than resonance. And in case of alkyl groups, what happens? In case of alkyl groups, along with resonance, hyperconjugation is also taking place. And resonance and hyperconjugation both are electron donating effects only. And that is why alkyl groups are also ortho-para directing. So now if I want to summarize, you just can remember that activating groups are ortho-para directing and deactivating are meta-directing, except halogens. So for deactivating groups, you can remember halogens, cyanide, nitro, sulfonic acid, and all the carbonyl groups. These are deactivating groups. Okay, carbonyl means aldehydes, ketones, acids, esters, amides, acyl, and anhydride. The 7 compounds and their derivatives, they come under carbonyl: aldehydes, ketones, acids, esters, acyl, amide, and anhydride. These are 7 carbonyl. They are all deactivating. That means all these are going to be meta-directing groups. And activating groups are other than these, because for activating we can go on and on and on. There is a list. Okay, so you just have to identify with the help of a lone pair. And in case of alkyl groups, there will be no lone pair, but still they are activating. So for activating, you have to remember alkyl group. Okay, R is alkyl. It can be methyl, ethyl, propyl. It can be anything. And then anything with lone pair, for example, amine and its derivatives, then OH and its derivatives, then you can have OR, etc. These all will come under activating groups that are electron donating, and these will come under deactivating, and these are electron withdrawing. Is this clear to you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I hope this topic is clear. Since we had only 1 hour lecture, so I decided to go for this topic. So this is just the explanation of a concept. Okay, this is a concept, that how do we decide that which reaction will take place at what position in a particular compound. So this concept is like really, really important. And if you remember this concept, then suppose you are given any random aromatic compound, and if you are asked to carry out any reaction on that, you absolutely can do it. Of course, you just will have to remember the conditions, but other than that, you can carry out any reaction on any given aromatic compound just with the help of this concept. So this concept is actually considered to be one out of the top 10 concepts of organic chemistry. Organic chemistry के जो top 10 important concepts हैं, उनमें से एक concept ये है, the electrophilic substitution in benzene and its derivatives. Okay, so yeah, I hope this is clear to you and you were able to understand whatever I said. So with that, we'll finish with this lecture. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care, stay safe. All the best. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, Dharam, I'm done. I think she has left. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'll be sending a feedback form for the lecture through the number that you might have received the link from. If possible, kindly do share your feedback, and I'll be informing you about the next lecture as well, the upcoming lectures. So I hope you guys understood today's session, and I'll connect with you soon. Next week, we'll keep one more session for the same topic. All right. Thank you so much, guys.